Let's talk about AI in game development. I know that this topic is already around the places, but I felt that I need to address this issue yet again. Since now I actually have some experience in using AI in game development, and I feel that I'm more ready to make my point on the given issue. To be honest, just some months ago, I had never used AI in game development in basically any way. Rather than asking some synonyms for some words or to get my brain fluids flowing for some scripting logic to which I was stumbling with or such. Just recently, I've been experimenting with AI in game development as an example by building reference images for some characters or assets to get their perspective right. And just this week, I tried constructing some promotional materials and graphical assets with the AI as well. Now I feel that I've returned to the root problem of why I never really liked the idea of using AI in game development. Because I'm no longer feeling proud of the things that I do. When I'm able to do the assets and everything by myself, I feel proud of it. I want to show it around, and I feel that I've created some actual value by doing the stuff by myself. And not only for myself, the assets and such, but for people who hopefully experience my crafts and creations when I make my games. When creating assets with AI, I feel that I'm slowly drifting away from that. I find myself slowly starting to focus on the performance of creating a lot of content because it's so fast. But at the same time, I feel less gratitude for my actions. So now I'm at the crossroads. The other route is performance. More content, more faster production pipelines, while losing the fun and gratitude for my work in the process. The second option is to slow down development, produce less and find enjoyment in much simpler things, while preserving the feel of enjoyment on a daily basis. So I think that for people who have never experienced this gratitude of creating assets and graphical assets and such by themselves, I bet it's an easy choice for them. Because they've never enjoyed or never found the gratitude in making the assets in the first place. So it's an easy choice. I'm going to pick the one that's going to be making it possible for me to even create the assets and such. But for me, it's already starting to affect the enjoyment in just a couple of weeks of using AI in game development. I guess the big question right now is that how users experience that. I'm quite certain that most of the users are not aware what is made with AI and what is not. And to be honest, I think most of the users don't really even care. And maybe we're slowly building an environment in our industry where the amount of content and production pipeline is expected to be X. Where the X is highly influenced by the use of AI and the performance that it offers. So this is nothing new. It has happened in multiple industries in the past. And let's take an example like the wood craftsmanship for comparison as an example. There are still people who find value in something that is made by human bare hands. But as we all know, most of us only like the idea that stuff is created by a human with their bare hands. But we still consume products like from IKEA or similar factory furniture as an example, rather than buying the handmade furniture assets from some wood craftsmanship as an example. It's cheaper, it's much easier to purchase these as well, from the IKEA I mean. And the same exact thing is happening with games when we advance this route. Games that have a lot of content can become cheaper, because they are much faster to produce. Those products will also be easier to buy because the promotional materials are created with high quality and also to match the target group's expectations and their criteria and such. But at the same time, that one indie game developer who is still creating everything with their bare hands doesn't really get recognition for their work, since it's very hard to stand out to the high quality standards that we're building with AI. I feel that it's inevitable that it will happen, or it has already happened, and yes, there are a lot of people who will still say that they prefer handmade products. But at the same time, they are consuming the non-handmade because those are the products that they can only find from the storefronts. Because the algorithm is promoting these good games and games that perform well. So slowly, the handmade products become something you need to use the search function as an example on Steam to even find them. Just like the handmade furniture, you hardly stumble upon them when browsing the web or walking in the streets. So, like mentioned, if the big question is how users experience the use of AI, I guess I need to try this as well to see how people react in games that are made with AI. Just like I did with the social experience with the buttons up back in the days, or well, some months ago, I created a brain rot game, or at least a game that I felt that is a brain rot game, which ultimately became a successful game. But I want to see this hypothesis of the use of AI in storefronts by making a game that uses a lot of AI in the development process. For my current project, the Mining Crowns, I will throw my values to the corner to fasten up the development and to create promotional materials, just to see how people react into this. And I feel that there's gonna be at least a couple of options that will happen. Well, to be exact, 3 options I think that may happen. I think the number one is that only a minority people will say that you've been using AI and that's bad, and they will tell me about it, that it's wrong to use AI. While at the same time this game itself will sell okay. I think that option number 2 is that the game doesn't sell well because the users can't find the soul in the game's appearance, as an example. Because when you make assets with AI, you kind of lose that little punch of creativity and little punch of soul in everything that you create, and those become more or less kind of let's say products that are familiar for people already. There's not much of a new when you create stuff with AI. A lot of people, the number 3 option is that a lot of people will get angry about this and bombard the game with bad reviews and such. But I feel that this is the only choice for me to understand the use of AI in game development, is to do it myself and see what happens. If I wouldn't do that, it'd be just hypothesis without confirmation. So, to be honest, my use of AI will still remain very, very small for this project. But it's already too much to my taste. I will be using AI to create, let's say, those perspective images of some characters or some ideas like concept images for which I will draw on top of it and such. So the kind of amount that I use creativity in my project will be much less, but still made with hand, more or less. So for the future projects, I already know that my use of AI is gonna be very minimal, because I don't like this idea. To be honest, I've already lost some amount of sleep because of this, because I feel bad about using AI in game development. It's just not me. I just can't feel proud of my creations, and if those are done by art, which is made by someone else back in the days, it's not mine, it's not me. So to be honest, I kind of hope that people will see that this upcoming game of mine has the use of AI, and they kind of see that as a bad thing, which would encourage me to staying in the route of creating and constructing games by myself. So it's interesting to see how people react into this, even though it's not 100% made by AI. I would say, maybe if I would have to put that into percentage, maybe that would be like 25% of the game will be done by AI and the rest is done by hand. But that's, like mentioned, way too much to my taste, because I would love to create the whole thing by myself without any use of AI, especially in the graphical part and such. But what do you think about the use of AI in game development? And Be honest with this. I know that it's very easy answer to say that no AI in art or don't use AI in this or that, but if you think it for a moment, how do you consume products and how much of craftsmanship actually affects your decisions? Be honest with this, but would be nice to hear your opinion on this. Like, what do you think about using AI in game development? Like always, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe this on YouTube. And if you are watching this somewhere else, maybe click on the link and on the embed link and jump into YouTube and do the same thing. Would be nice to see you there commenting your thoughts and such. Thank you very much for watching to the end, and hope to see you next time. Thank you. Cheers and bye bye.